Welcome to the Worn and Wound podcast. My name is Blake Buettner. We are in studio today with Zach Kazan in person. Hey, Zach.
In person.
How are you?
Not on the computer. I'm
Not
good.
on the
How are
computer.
you?
Zach from Concord. Sorry, I should
Concord,
clarify.
yeah.
Please.
I like your shirt today.
Thank you.
It's very colorful. It's very
Summery.
Hey, it's still summertime. Enough
Summer
of this back to
vibes.
school stuff. Yeah. There's Zach Weiss. Hey, Zach.
Hey. I'm Zach from
like,
New York.
You're like ready for the fall with this.
We're wearing the same thing, you and me. Blue.
Yeah, twins.
Yeah. We got blue shirts, like washed jeans.
Yeah, that's
A couple of 90s dads. Except for I'm not a dad.
And then that's Patrick. Hey, Patrick, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So we've got kind of a special.
You sure?
he's fine.
No comment on my shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, also very nice. It's a bit of a seersucker texture.
It's too late.
Yeah. I like.
So we have a little bit of a special episode today. Maybe we're going to be talking about something that we've seen increasingly more of and are maybe increasingly confused by, potentially. And this is the pro moniker that we're seeing given to a lot more watches these days. Before we get there, we can do kind of a quick wrist check if we want. Patrick, I want to start with you because I don't think you've worn this watch on the podcast before.
Right. It's been tuna all day, except this is a fair monocouture cob. Right. Yeah. Omakase, please.
on the mesh link bracelet.
Right.
It's a sharp looking watch.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a story for that. I didn't want this bracelet initially. They used to bundle it when it first came out with the fitted bracelet, and then they wised up to that, and then they made it an additional cost.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's okay. I still love the brand. The mesh is actually more suitable.
You bracelet guys.
I'm a bracelet guy.
I think it looks nice on that.
Yeah. Mesh is
agree. It
good.
looks good.
And mesh is a superior bracelet in general, I will say. For comfort.
Wow, that's
Right.
For comfort, hot takes from the start. Yeah,
That's
interesting.
It's a real professional bracelet when you think about it, as it allows breathability.
what kind of profession? No, that's the
Doctor with a pulsation scale, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Right, because doctors really wear watches when they're operating.
If I ever went to like an ER and the doctor was timing me like my a Fair or any other watch, I'd be concerned a little bit.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and they're just like, wait, I got to start again. Hold on, I missed it.
I dropped the scalpel.
Zach Kazan, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing a IWC Pilot's Chronograph 41 in Ceratanium.
Nice. Very cool.
Very sharp.
And are you going to divulge what strap it's on?
Sure, yeah. No, it's on a $20 rubber strap that I bought on Amazon. I won't say the name of the brand, but if you shop for watch straps on Amazon, you have surely encountered them at some point. But I think it's a really good match.
It looks fabulous on that strap.
Yeah.
And the whole watch looks great.
Thanks.
It's got very stormtrooper sort of vibes. And you do that black
that's what
and
I'm
white
going
kind of
for.
a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
But it looks sharp. Yeah.
Ready for the convention.
I'm wearing almost the exact same watch, except it's steel. This is the IWC Collective CEO3, I think it's called. Pretty much same situation, same movement, same size.
The dials, so these both have sort of grayed out numerals.
Yeah.
Have you compared the hues of this? I'm kind of curious.
They
That's
are.
interesting.
They're pretty
the
close.
Same, except the hands have like polished edges around
yeah,
mine,
yeah.
and his are black.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which is fine because he doesn't care about legibility. So,
Not at all.
No.
reading the time is secondary.
Zach Weiss, what do you got on?
I have on the a real definition of like a professional style watch. This is the Louis Vuitton Excellence Silberstein regulator.
Yes.
That has been
Talk about legibility.
at times referred to as a play school styled watch.
Is this a toy? Yeah.
Yeah, no. But
What is that? A Velcro strap on
It
there?
is.
Jeez.
Listen, wait.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no. This is a good one.
Yeah. I like that.
Titanium.
Titanium as well.
Titanium. Grade 2 and 5.
Grade 2 and 5
Combined makes 7.
It's two-tone, basically.
It's a two-tone titanium.
Yeah.
Is there what's the titanium that you want?
Both.
Both.
I mean, that's
Is
the thing.
The
There's
ideal
all-
is both.
yeah.
All the titanium.
I think it's like everything else that people get caught up over and frankly has no real value or meaning. I think the real difference, and as they actually kind of illustrated on this watch, so the grade 5 parts are polished and the grade 2 parts are media blasted.
Yeah.
And grade 5 polish is better. I think is really like in the end the big difference.
Got it. Yeah. That's it. I hadn't really I didn't notice that before. With the two different grades and how they've treated them differently in the finishing. We were giving Kat and Catlin some shit about their titanium discussion on their podcast.
Well, just Cat.
Yeah, just Cat. And
Callan's correct.
And I was like, wow, this is I've never heard. I didn't know this was a position that people had, and I never really felt that way about a watch until recently. A watch came in, and then I was like, oh, I get it. I didn't care for it at all in titanium. I'll save that watch, and it's a whole review on that coming soon. Suffice to say, they might, she might have been onto something there, but and that's got me wondering. Well, maybe it was not the right grade.
No,
because normally I have no problem with all full titanium.
Well, she makes a very good point though in that podcast where it's like, were you wearing a hefty watch before you put on?
Yeah, that's
because it's sort of that by comparison. It's not. It definitely feels like empty. Sort of, but
because last night she took off her 41 millimeter IWC and put on Thomas's Explorer, and she's kind of like immediately like, it's just too, But I was like, well, I kind of had the same experience when I put mine on for the first time, but after wearing it for a couple days, it becomes like, ooh, this is like all I want to wear.
It also just depends on what you want in a like some people just prefer. I know Kat. I don't want to speak for Kat, but she's on the record saying she prefers a heavier watch. I think that's a kind of a common sentiment. And some people prefer, like I know Zach, you prefer a lighter watch and see like lightness almost as like a luxury unto itself.
Yeah.
So it's
just curious.
Just comfort.
Yeah. So lightness is a detriment. That's Kat's standing. She doesn't like things too
Well, I think
light.
she appreciates a watch that has some heavy. And again, not to speak for her, I think this is what she's expressed to us. And in that light, I think it makes a lot of sense. So is lightness a pro quality?
Yeah. Well, I mean, once again, I was joking. Obviously, this Alon Silberstein Louvard is a pro of anything because it's kind of like it's an art watch of sorts, But it's not a small watch. I think it's like a 40 millimeter, but the case is really bizarre in this, and I think it looks kind of big, But it's shockingly comfortable because it's titanium and it's light, and it's on a Velcro strap that it's like an Apple style Velcro strap. So like. I have watches that are smaller than this that I will take off periodically through the day to kind of let my wrist breathe, especially like if I'm at my desk. And this, I forget is on despite it being fairly significant.
Yeah. So you said that this watch is it's an art and it's kind of something that you enjoy on an aesthetic level.
Yeah.
Maybe more than like this is a practical thing that I'm going to go do this practical job with, and it's going to be a tool that I'm using as a part of my. You're going to view all watches as this. Right?
As just
it's like for because when we were joking the other, I don't know if you were joking about like I don't care about legibility. Like I got my phone to read the time, and I think we were kind of mostly joking and stuff. But I think there is that element to it where we're honest with ourselves and saying that I enjoy it aesthetically.
Yeah, watches for me are aesthetic objects.
Yeah.
Like I don't really see watches as tools primarily. Like you can obviously like do things in watches and use watches for a certain task, but the what draws me to a watch, any watch that I have ever chosen to buy, with my own money, like is like I like the way the watch looks.
Yeah.
Like and that could mean a whole bunch of things. Like I've owned a Tudor Pelagos twice. I bought that watch twice because I like the way it looks, and that's like a very like toolish tool watch. But I also like kind of more ornate designs. I own several Grand Seikos, and it's a totally different end of the spectrum. So
we're always like fighting for that terminology, right? Because it's like there's sports watch and tool watch, and then there's like what we're talking about, like what is the everyday thing. So I was thinking about this recently, and I guess this plays into the whole professional thing too. But like I was looking at how sneaker brands sort of refer to it, and I don't know, we're both wearing Asics Gel Light 3s right now. These are both categorized on Asics as sports style.
Sports style.
But you often see just lifestyle. Like on like New Balance, you'll have running and track and all these other things. But the ones you actually buy, those are all the lifestyle sneakers.
Yeah.
They look like sport, like you could use them for running. But if you really are running, use the running ones.
Yeah, they're practical. Like I wouldn't run anywhere in these things. I just like the way they look. They're comfortable to walk in.
That's curious. But I mean, like a
lifestyle
well-tuned
watch.
shoe can increase a professional runner's speed. Yeah,
100%.
There is a
Yeah, no,
science to that. Whereas like a watch, I don't know. Like you change out the case material. What, it's lighter? Is it more professional now?
I mean, if you're
It's
getting
heavier?
into your Harrier jet, are you going to wear the Alon Silberstein or the IWC?
It's probably
no one's putting me in a Harrier jet. That's not happening.
Well, look, I mean, like,
there's science there, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know if there's a science to
there's
watchmaking.
a practical benefit. Like I run in Hokas, and they're much lighter than any other shoe that I have. And
I
once you
have Hokas.
once you're running for like more than a certain period of time, like every little ounce is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's noticeable or not, but like, you know, you want to run in a lighter shoe. I guess maybe that's like the titanium.
I need to,
if you're walking
yeah,
around with this all day,
sure.
it's like, you know, but I'm always,
I mean, that's like the Richard Mille thing, right? I mean, like there's sort of a conflict there because of what they are kind of status wise and what they cost. But like they engineered those Rafael Nadal watches so like they can be worn while playing tennis and yet also be a tourbillon, right?
Hyper niche thing. And I like things that are kind of weird like that, built for that specific purpose, but also work well in just everyday normal person life. That's why I like the FXD so much.
Yeah.
I feel like a majority of watches fall into lifestyle. I'm just going to put that out there. Like everything.
They by default do because they are what we make. Like, you know, if you went diving in that, I'd say, well, maybe it's not a diving watch, but you're using it is that right?
But and it's not just. I mean, I feel like I just kind of want like a different all-encompassing term, so I don't have to like always like categorize things by these sort of like
watch,
things that imply some sort of function that we're not necessarily using it for, and that includes like dress watch. It's like you know the Grand Seikos that we both talked about, the SBGW 2XX line, like. It's a dress watch. It's on their elegance line, but it's not in my life.
It's also just a watch.
Yeah, it's just a watch.
Just a watch.
Yeah.
Well, I like the last podcast Lorenzo mentioned. He was sort of piggybacking off something you said when it was in regards to wearing the watch for the intended purpose. But, you know, it is what you make it because, you know, he's like, my bracelet's not jacked up, but our friend who's a diver, her watch is a complete mess. And she goes diving with it and it runs and operates just the same as his. She's just taking it a little further. I mean, I think that if the watch is, you know, 20 bar water resistance, sure, you could go diving with it feasibly, or you could just wear it behind a desk, and that's cool too.
Yeah, I can't help but think of like sports cars. Is like, a lot of people buy them because they look cool and it's like machismo and it's all this whatever, and like very few people actually like take it to a track and time themselves, and it's just a beautiful object. And I think a lot of people have like old Porsches that are worth $1 million or whatever, and they're like sat in the garage because it's beautiful. They appreciate aesthetically, and they're not taking it to like historic runs on historic tracks and stuff like that. And it's just, well, that's okay. That's what it is then.
Yeah. And if they did take it on a run at a historic track, would they even know like what they're doing necessarily?
Probably.
Like,
just like if you or I tried to hop in the water and go diving with a Pelagos.
Yeah, I'd die. We'd
be
dead. Yeah,
It's a danger to you and the watch, right?
It's not like the watch would be like, oh, well, we can do this because we've got this diving watch on now. So look out.
A drowning watch.
Yeah, the watch doesn't bestow upon you any abilities that you didn't otherwise.
I like that. A watch made for drowning. No water resistance.
Yeah.
In fact, somehow it like fills in to pull you down.
But we see like the pro designation being applied to a lot of watches. Is there any like common thread that ties them all together?
Marketing.
Yeah, I think it probably comes down to that. Is you know, brands want their watches to be associated with some like kind of higher level of performance, and pro is just kind of like the designation that is used in the watch world for that.
When I think of the term professional applied to a watch, of course I think of the Speedmaster, and that has been, you know, whatever since when, the 50s, 60s, the Speedmaster professional.
Yeah, when did the professional?
Has it always said that?
I'm trying to think the 1957 like Broad Arrow Speedmaster, that didn't have that terminology applied to it.
God,
it wasn't professional yet.
It wasn't professional.
Yeah, it's his rookie.
You have to earn the professional.
Right. Well, I thought did the professional come into play with NASA?
Like doing those, like it was selected here, so this is a professional grade, and it arguably had to go through a gauntlet of things to earn that title.
And that's why it only says professional on the moon watch.
On that watch.
Yeah.
That's curious. Did they start the trend? Who started the trend of professional to begin with when it comes to watches? Like, why is that a moniker at all?
I feel like they could have, but I mean, think about that watch. It's got them both. It's Speedmaster, professional, because everything else is a master.
It's really the perfect name for a watch.
It really, because you can't do the yacht master professional. That's too much.
You know, professional yachting master.
But
but yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys like. So I always feel like, well, that's a badge that was maybe earned, regardless of what the likes of people like us are using them for.
Yeah.
We're not flying to the moon with them, you know. But I think we're seeing that kind of like pro thing. You know, I think we both pondered it with the Black Bay Pro. Like what?
Yeah, what does it mean there? Certainly.
What differentiates this from other like Black Bays, which are ostensibly very capable of what they've been designed to do? Like, are they less?
That one in
pro?
particular, because I feel like when you when you see it in other brands, like, so I actually, in like the most recent A Week in Watches I record, I make fun of this a little bit too, because I was putting together the news and it was like, where the TAG Heuer Aquaracer 300 GMT Pro. And then we had the...
It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I said it in the right order. And then the Christopher Ward C60 300 Pro. And I was like, oh. And then there was the George Daniels thing, which is like, and he's the master. So I was like... Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of the joke of that episode. But, you know, I think with Christopher Ward, at least, it's sort of saying like, these are their high water resistance line, right? It's like that. So the whole C60 line is sort of the pro line, and then the C65 is sort of their vintage line, and they have all these other lines coming off of it. Yeah. But like, so like that in that instance, like sort of like
there's a continuity within their own labeling of it, right? Like with the collection that they build, they apply it to these, and it's for this specific reason.
And for them, it seems to be diving.
Right.
Basically, it's like pro equals.
Are we assuming
serious dive watch?
That has Tudor ever spelled out professional? I'm just looking through their stuff, and I only see the word pro. Right, but not professional.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
That's an assumption on our part.
When it comes to watches, professional, you think of Speedmaster.
There's also like, I mean, I it'd be worth a look, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's trademarks around that stuff. I mean, doesn't Zenith have a trademark on pilots or something? Like, there's some crazy trademarks out there.
Right.
That would be surprising to see. But yeah, but the Pro, sorry, getting back to the Tudor versus the Christopher Ward situation, is that what is interesting with the Tudor Black Bay Pro is that it's a 200 meter, just like the other one. It's the same size. Like, you can't find that it has the same movement. They're all chronometers. It's not like they went up to the master chronometer, which they have on other ones. Yeah. They're just the ceramic model. So yeah, there is nothing that necessarily like gives it a spec that says more pro.
It's just that specific complication.
They're just calling
that what makes it.
But then there's the Black Bay.
There's Black Bay chronographs and there's Black Bay GMT.
The Black Bay GMT has the exact same specs, just a different size. So yeah, I don't quite get it. I guess, there's the different loom or whatever. But yeah, I mean, maybe we'll learn in the future what they mean, what they plan on with it.
Yeah, I think I pondered like, will this be a new label that they're going to use for like, or will we get a Ranger Pro?
Well, they told us in Switzerland when they unveiled the watch. I remember them saying that they do plan to build out that product line, but they obviously were not saying like what that means in any sort of real terms. But I think we can expect additional
pro models.
And I guess maybe then we'll learn sort of what the common thread is. Yeah.
I mean, I would think we would. Who knows?
Then we can start to put the pieces together.
Because I mean, like really, like how related is a Pelagos to a Pelagos FXD? Really, like they're both titanium dive watches, but they're wildly different.
Yeah.
So, who says that the next Pro is going to be like, really anything resembling the current Black Bay Pro? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? And then I was reading the Verge or wherever talking about Apple's upcoming event, and they are
when is it? September,
early September, I think.
September. So
newfangled phones and watches and stuff like this. So the word is, I don't know if this is, obviously nobody knows except for Apple, that there will be a pro level Apple Watch as well. That will be like titanium or have some kind of like special case, and it will have a feature set that is for like professional athletes who train doing intense training, or I don't know,
just like us.
Yes, just like us. So I can see a bunch of types like us, very unprofessional athletes. They speak for myself. Getting these things and wearing them.
My phone's a Pro too, right?
Yes. So so I also have I've had the iPhone Pro for the last like 2 or 3 cycles or whatever, and I feel like when Apple releases an iPhone and labels it a Pro, what they're really talking about is like professional photographers, people like Patrick, people who are like, really using the phone for videography and for high-end photography, which I am certainly not. Yeah. But
and I get suckered in every single time.
Same.
And every single time I'm like, whatever.
Do I need it?
Like that third lens, that telephoto lens is crap. Let's be honest here, guys. Like, and I'm not. Even the actual videographer at the table doesn't have it.
No.
You're not filming our videos with cinema mode on this. Is like,
I don't think this is anyone's B cam. I don't think, practically speaking, it's cool when you see the ad campaigns are like shot on iPhone. It's interesting to see what people can accomplish with these, but I think the average individual is not going to be in tune with how to film like these high level productions.
No,
It's just a tool like anything else.
I get
but-
suckered into it, and what I really want is the smallest version, but I always go for the end up with the heavier thing.
And they dropped the smallest version.
Yeah, the
too.
mini, I think they dropped.
The mini's gone at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make that anymore.
What?
I know.
RIP.
That's why I got this one when I switched to 13. But yeah, I'm just reading up on this. Mac Rumors talks about the Pro.
Yeah, is that a worthy designation to have on a watch if it's built for a professional doing a thing? And
I'm really curious what kind of feature set it's going to have for a professional athlete that the current Apple Watch doesn't have. Because I don't own an Apple Watch, but my understanding is that it has a pretty full suite of like health features and trackers that can tell you all sorts of.
I use almost none of that stuff, but it's all kinds of
It's your
sensors.
VO2 Max, bro.
I mean, I don't even pay attention. Like honestly, I used to run in it, but not to veer too far off. But I stopped running in a watch altogether because I find running more enjoyable when I'm not like, my pace is off today, and I feel bad about myself, and I have to, I'm not out here training for, to be in the Olympics or something. Like I'm just out to like enjoy running, and I enjoy running more when I'm not tracking whatever else. Like I'm not blasting fast laps and whatever. So running to me is more enjoyable without something on my wrist. Where that's the tracking, something like that. So, anyways, so I guess maybe in a professional level athlete, I'm trying to think of what they would need like above and beyond. To your point, like that.
I mean, they're really tracking like oxygen levels and things like in their blood and stuff.
The
So
body's
it's
efficiency,
So
Even if the
know.
watch could do it, I'd question the accuracy over.
maybe it'll
that
come
is
with
used.
all kinds of like doodads that you strap onto your body and
All right, like that
Stick it on
50
your
cent
tongue.
video.
pulse oximeter or something. Yeah.
yeah.
I watched Bringing Out the Dead the other night.
Great movie,
Great
yeah.
movie. Scorsese.
Bringing out the dead.
Bringing Out the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Whoa.
A great,
Okay.
fantastic of being Rames. Tom Sizemore, but he's good. He's perfectly
Kind of
cast for that.
yeah.
Loose cannon. And anyway, there's a scene. I don't know, spoiler, but it's a movie from 1999. Get over it. There's a scene where Nicolas Cage like assists a person's death, and he does so by like hooking their EKG meter up to like the pads, but he just is wearing them under his shirt, and there's absolutely no like. There's no setup as to why he has these on all the time. It's just he has them on, and he kind of like so basically. He lets the person die and they don't know because he's clipped in.
Did the person
know
want to
why
die or was he killing the person?
Well, that's a good question because the person's more or less the person's brain dead, but he believes he's speaking to them in
okay.
the movie's more or less a mental breakdown.
And the inspiration for Apple's new watch, probably.
I was going to say.
What if the Nicolas
What's
Cage watch
happening on the-
has a button that's
Yeah.
just like die? And you press it.
Oh,
and it'll
God.
just, like,
My girlfriend had never seen it. It's been years since I saw it, and then we watched Taxi Driver a few days later. And like those movies, actually, I really feel like he was sort of trying to relive.
I haven't seen Bringing Out the Dead in a long time. I remember seeing it in the
It's on
theater
HBO
and really,
Max, yeah.
really enjoying it like years ago, 20 years ago when it was in the theaters.
Recommended. Total digression there. Sorry.
All right. Anything else that we need to get off our chest about pro? Are we pro or
Pro,
con?
I'm pro. Yeah.
You're like call it whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, call whatever you want. I like
not
a
gonna
watch
stop
that's
you
well
from wearing
spec'd and that can that can perform well even if you don't need it to. I'm not going to be interested.
I want some more though, like trainee watches, amateurs. You know,
the intern
like,
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're not there yet. Get it. It's not
This is the Black Bay Bush League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Speedmaster intern is an interesting
I like that. Yeah,
idea.
It'll
Wear
let you
this
when
watch.
the coffee's ready for pickup.
Yeah.
And go
I
to
like
the-
wear this watch for 5 years, then you can turn it in for the
You
pro
get into
model.
the-
you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You get a little discount too.
If you like it, you like it. The name, whatever. A lot of so a few people were kind of there were some ruffled feathers about the tri-compacts that Baltics was using because it doesn't have the 3 complications.
Are people finally learning? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and
so
I asked
funny,
them. I
yeah.
was like, so what's your
We were
take
talking
on
about that
this?
too.
And,
Yeah.
and they were like, we just using it for the 3 subdials, and we just think it's okay to use for that.
They're hardly the
I was
first
like, okay.
brand to do that.
And they just like
definitely.
straight up admitted it. They're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
know, like it means this, but this is how we're using it, and that's how people use it colloquially often. You know,
And you know what's awesome? They're going to sell out immediately, anyways.
Oh, I bet they.
Is that
They
today?
probably
already
did.
have an
Oh,
hour
yeah.
ago.
Well, yeah.
so
Speaking of,
we'll see.
they went out.
So yeah, whatever. It's not going to ruin my enjoyment. The watching it shouldn't ruin.
What's in a
yours
name?
either. It's like,
You know?
I
It's,
like this, but that it doesn't have 3 complications.
Yeah.
What's in a
And it's
name if
called the
not pro?
tri-compact. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, let us know what you think. What do you think of the term pro? Should it be applied to watches? Should it be defined? Should it mean the same thing when it's applied to every watch? Let us
That's
know.
an interesting. Should there be an
A
ISO
universal.
Yeah,
for
if
pro?
you're going to use this word, it has to fit these.
Professional specifications.
Let's
I
regulate
could
it.
see brands
Right.
doing that at least to themselves. Like, this is our definition of pro.
Because it's not.
I'm surprised
There's
nobody
not.
has yet.
Yeah,
It's just like a.
so ambiguous.
No, it's just
Anyway.
marketing.
All right. Let us know your thoughts, and thanks for tuning in. Until next time, take care.